Hi friends, welcome back. So I want to have a chat with you regarding Tesla, robotics, and AI. There's a couple of very interesting things that came out today I want to show you guys, and let's just jump right in. So headline here, Tesla preparing to register FSD with Chinese authorities, report says. This is May 30th, 2024. Basically, as you guys know, Tesla's trying to get you to subscribe to a software service to basically, hey, give us a bunch of money, maybe $100 a month, and your car will theoretically drive itself. And what's fascinating about this thing is they're really trying to push for China. It is a different environment than the USA. And this is also key to it's probably their announcement on August 8th. They say probably because it hasn't happened yet, but the rumors are going to announce some sort of robotaxi kind of thing, and we'll see what it ends up being. And they'll probably try to test it in China. And this is an interesting environment for them to test it in because essentially, remember Musk likes to say, guys, I love free speech all the time, everywhere, right? But yet he never criticizes China, which doesn't have free speech and it doesn't have a free press, but is a good place to test these kind of things because if you're going to injure people, hurt people, right, get people killed, you can easily cover it up here, especially if you have the government on your side. So that's sort of the advantages of doing it in China, but I'm sure you guys understand the ethical concerns with this. And, it is what it is. So I'm bringing this stuff up as well because I wanted to put together the fuller picture with you guys. If you watch the pumper channels, they always are bragging about, robots and Tesla's going to have a robot in every home, this kind of stuff. We're all going to be buying these things. I think, honestly, this humanoid robot, though, is a fool's errand. It'll be too expensive. It's not necessarily the form factor that we want, nor do we even want these things at all. That's the question I pose to you. I think one of the big problems with this big robot AI push, it's also a big push to replace you, right, the human, and also to essentially make it so that you don't have a job. And you'll have major social upheavals with that. So I always find it strange that people are really cheering this stuff on. I've mentioned this stuff before on the channel. I'm just not into it. But I guess for some people, they're like, yeah, replace the humans. Awesome. I don't know what to say. But I do mention, yes, I understand. That is the argument. The other issue as well is Musk is starting a new company called XAI. He raised like $6 billion for this thing. Whether or not he leaves Tesla remains to be seen. And someone asked, why are we talking about Tesla a lot these days? Because it's just fascinating. If you guys have been following the story, we're voting on whether or not Musk is going to get that pay package, and that I think that vote is I want to say it's June 13th, so like a couple weeks from now, and that's a wild one. And then you got that crazy robotaxi announcement or whatever it's going to be August 8th, and you have the crazy stuff going on in China. Moreover, this is also coming from China. I want to play this video. This is actually you can see it's the CCTV, right? So from China, sponsored by the government. They have this robot thing here, and I guess this is a joint thing they did with Cambodia. This is a robot by Unitree, and basically what I said is humanoid robots is a sort of what I want to say, a wild goose chase, just not necessarily the most efficient form factor. I think we may see though more of these dog shapes out there, so essentially four-legged, and maybe more stable, maybe cheaper to make, manufacture, this kind of stuff. And I just wanted to show you this thing. It's pretty interesting, like the kind of use case scenarios for it, right? I believe that looks CG to me, but some of these videos are real. And for you guys watching this, you can let me know what your feelings on this stuff. See this kind of thing right here I want to show you. So I think sort of like gun on top of robot, if we're going to use these things for military warfare, I could see a world with this, or a gun on top of a robot car, basically, right? Not a car in the sense of a Tesla, but just some sort of a wheeled vehicle. I don't see the case for human form, humanoid factors. I think either robot or wheels, maybe even a three-wheeled thing, right? Because the issue is always with this stuff is cost. I think some of the use case scenarios, just right now would be like recovering bombs or doing any kind of dangerous thing we don't necessarily want to send a human in. But the issue always becomes, right, how much does this thing cost compared to training a human? Also, is it safe in general? I think one of the big concerns about this as well is like, do we really want to hand over control of this thing fully to the AI? At the moment, if we just say, hey, we're going to just do it with, radio controlled operator. I mean, guys, you guys know this. We already have drones hitting the commercial market like crazy. And like, look at this one here. A gun on a drone would look something like that. I think the issue right now with the current drones, because right now you can, order a little drone with a camera on it and they're small. You can't take much payload on the thing. The talk though has been like with say the bigger drones, companies like an Amazon has been beginning, doing some research in the drone business. I know because I went to an Amazon thing and they literally talked about it, and they're saying, hey, we're hiring for like, drone maintenance, drone research, this kind of stuff. So, not only can it be used for, say, putting a weapon on the said thing, or can say like a payload, to drop on wherever you want to drop it. You can also use it for package deliveries and stuff like that. So this again is not humanoid robot design. So whenever the Tesla brings out the humanoid robots, I'm always rolling my eyes. That's my opinion, because I just think there are other form factors out there. But yeah, I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts if you think this would be a thing where you have like these drones flying overhead with guns attached. The other issue would be obviously ammo, because how much payload could you possibly put in, and again, it factors into cost. This is something I showed you guys as well, and I just want to show you guys sort of a preview of what the future may or may not look like. I mean, companies are developing this stuff. Whether or not we're all going to be buying it, and if there's again a cost effective, who knows. Boston Dynamics, they're owned by Hyundai, and they keep developing stuff, but there's still not like a big market for this kind of thing, and they're still in the, what's the right word to say, development phase. But this is their design. They're definitely way ahead of Tesla, way far ahead, right? And I want to show you guys this stuff as well. There's Musk raising more money. So if you guys thought Tom Cruise was cool, look at his goat friends there, right? The other thing too, which I mentioned, cost, and this also relates to the Tesla situation. If Tesla indeed is partnering with Chinese companies, there's a high chance that you're going to see cheaper replicas, right? Because this is how the game is played. Chinese companies partner with you, they take your technology and they make cheaper versions. So the Boston Dynamics one is called Spot, is about $75,000, and the Unitree thing, I guess, is only $2,400. Well, here it says $2,700, so there it says 24, but we'll call it between $2,000 and $3,000. If indeed they can get the cost down to this cheaper, we may actually end up seeing them, because again, you have to factor in, okay, how much does it cost to train a human, these kind of things, and how much does it cost to manufacture these things, and how good are they? I mean, if they are this cheap, I think theoretically it could be. Also it says here, shipping cost is $1,000 per unit. So I'm thinking that, what does it say? Duty not included. U.S. needs to charge 20% duty. Oh, right. And the other thing is too, regarding this stuff, it's for theoretically if you want to order one of these things, because I guess you can. Remember, Biden over there in the White House is raising tariffs on Chinese products. And I don't know if robots are included that, or like these kind of things. I remember we talked about EVs of like 100% tariffs, right? So, but yeah, here it's saying here 25% duty. So maybe you're looking more like a $5,000 cost with shipping and tariffs, etc., or duties. I say duty fees, I should say, and then the cost of the thing. And I want to also mention to you guys as well, because remember, all the Tesla bulls are always saying, oh, Musk is going to make tons of money in China. He's so awesome. He's so smart. Be careful with this stuff, guys. When you share your technology with companies over there, like I said, cheap copies come out. And I mentioned Unitree, for example. Here in Korea, the stealing of technology, or I guess the word to say is technology espionage, is always a big issue. I see this stuff all the time in the news, actually, over here. So this is, again, May 30th, 2024. This is our headlines here in Korea. Just sharing some news with you. A 2-year prison term upheld for KAIST professor who leaked autonomous tech to China. Because there is a lot of money involved with this stuff, and people will do bad things if someone essentially says, hey, I'll give you a bunch of money if you bring some tech over to us, that kind of stuff. So we get this stuff a lot of times in the news, regarding LG, Samsung, etc. SK, these kind of companies are big, and they have a lot of tech that other companies want. And what's so fascinating, again, I just mentioned when Musk is like willingly partnering with the Chinese companies, and all the fanboys and fangirls are cheering it on. I'm just saying, don't say I didn't warn you. Moreover, here in Korea, we do have a lot more automation in our retail spaces. I made a video. It's called Robot AI Automation. It's on our vlog channel. You can check that out. I'll put a link, or actually, I'll put a link right here. But do check that out if you're interested in this kind of stuff. We were just in a store just yesterday. It was a mobile phone case store. No workers in there at all. And we have a lot of stores like that. There's no workers at all. That's basically, the store is just empty. And then you just do self-checkout. And they got CCTV cameras everywhere. And they just, expect you to be honest. And if not, they got a camera and they got your picture, etc. They're not going to do this with high price, goods like the phone cases are like, $10, that kind of thing. Essentially we're on an honor system. We have coffee and cafe places like that. We have automated machines. So, I'm not necessarily against automation per se. I understand why a business would do it if it's cheaper and you get the same service by doing this kind of stuff. But I am concerned about this kind of world where, it's just too easy to conduct warfare, et cetera. I mean, you guys get where this is going. And I'm also obviously really concerned about hacking. I think that's a real thing. If you have networks of cars and this kind of robots, I mean, I've lived long enough to know that almost anything can be hacked. And I like to see people's arguments of why things can't be hacked. Are we heading to this matrix world where, the robots are going to take over and we're going to be their batteries? That's probably a long ways off. But I do think that we should always be cautious of this kind of tech, right? It's moving forward. And so when I see these kind of headlines, this is like May 17th, 2024, just a few weeks ago. OpenAI disbands safety team focused on risk of artificial intelligence causing human extinction. Like when I read these kind of headlines, yes, it is kind of funny and kind of scary at the same time. But these are the conversations that I think are worth having. And I understand, these days AI is all the rage, but just kind of what my feelings on this stuff has always been. I think this is a bit of a bubble, a bit of too much hype. I think automation is real, but not necessarily in the ways that people say it is. Meaning that someone like a Musk will say, "Oh yes, you're all going to have robo taxis, and you're going to make whatever $40,000 a year, and while you sleep at night, while your car drives around and ships people from spot to spot." I question that kind of stuff, and also too, I question whether or not we should be putting all this money into, how can I say, things that are looking to replace humans. Even it was recently quoted like Musk is like, you're not going to have jobs and we need to figure out a way to give everybody a bunch of money. Or you can have, he's even talking about it. It wasn't UBI, universal basic income. I think he called it something else. But these are the concerns going forward. And so I'm just bringing this up to you guys because I want you to be informed as an investor and stuff like that. And so sort of where I'm coming from when I talk about, be cautious of the Tesla going to China stuff. So love to hear your thoughts about any one of these things, be it AI, the future of this stuff. What do you think about the different form factors we talked about with robotics? And will this stuff be profitable? What's your thoughts on this stuff? And I'll catch you all in the next video.